ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. Online at ESPNSA.com. All day, every day. KZDC San Antonio. James Pledger, Jack Thompson. The Saturday Morning Hangover.
Good morning, San Antonio. Welcome into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. And as always, we're on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger. And guys, we're reunited, and it feels so good. Let's bring back the OG. With Jack Thompson out at a wedding, not his own, I decided to call in the big guns. RJ Ochoa, the original Saturday Morning Hangover co-host, is back in the building. Guys, give it up for RJ. Show him your love on Twitter at RJ Ochoa, on Instagram. I don't care if you roll down the window in your car and scream it out the window. Guys, show love for RJ.
What's going on, everybody? Feels good to be back. The furniture is in the exact same place. I think a lot of the food I left in the fridge is still here. I really appreciate Pledge not touching it in that capacity. Want to extend my congratulations to Jack Thompson on what is definitely his wedding. Really happy to be here. Really happy to be here for the next 2 hours. It feels good. Feels right. It's like riding a bike. I had some inkling that Pledge was going to ask when I found out about Jack's pending nuptials. Is that what the word nuptials?
Nuptials?
Nuptials, whatever. Either way. And so congratulations again to the happy couple, not just on the Saturday Morning Hangover, but in the wedding that Jack Thompson is at.
Yeah. It's incredible. I've left everything just the way you had it, but the food in the fridge is starting to stink a little because it's been a little while. So if you could clean that out at any point in time, it'd be much appreciated.
I won't appreciate the offering, but I will not. And I will take this as an opportunity to say for anyone who enjoys my voice, so my wife, my mom, my dad, you, that's about the end of the list. We'll be here on the Saturday Morning Hangover, but because the entire Thompson Brigade is just either getting married or on vacation or off-roading. I have to be here for Rob on Monday and Tuesday, so I will be on the Blitz as well. So, I'm not going to move anything, all right? I'm here for a while. This is the kind of vacation where, like, you take your clothes out and you put them in the furniture, in the like, place you're staying at. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm not living out of the bag of the suitcase this week.
It's like Oxnard all over again.
Oh, well, if it's going to be exactly like Oxnard, we're going to need some really cold wind, which I think might be on the way. We're going to need some pizza, which certainly can be arranged. We're going to need some Miller Lite koozies. Toppers is the OG, the true OG. I don't care what anybody says. Shout out to Dan Cialana, one of the many producers that the Saturday Morning Hangover has experienced, of course. Dan. But Dan the Man's Pizza, not the best. Toppers is the best. So it does feel like Oxnard in many capacities. And for that, I'm very grateful.
Now, what was the place we always stopped at to get the breakfast sandwiches for Rob?
Oh, I don't know what that was called. But it was like a croissant.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a croissant, and they would bake, they would cook up some egg and ham or whatever,
but
and
it was
throw it in
massive.
there. Right. And the very first time I saw him eat one, Jason thought it was the funniest thing in the world because Rob inhaled it, and it had
it was faster than I eat. You know how I eat, and he inhaled that thing.
Have you ever been so hungry? I actually sent Pledge a message last night and said that I thought of what would have been a better title for this show than the Saturday Morning Hangover. I thought we should have called it Breakfast Tacos. I thought that would have been awesome. And then it could have been a thing, everybody would have eaten their breakfast tacos with us. But have you ever been so hungry that you go for the taco, the first bite, and you grab a piece of paper? You know what I mean? That's an unfortunate circumstance of being that hungry. That was Rob. I think Rob ate the paper,
the parchment paper that came with it.
Yeah, with his sandwich. I think it was called Spud Nuts. Now that I'm talking about
it was Spud Nuts.
Yeah, so Rob put their kids through college at least, through his couple weeks in Oxnard.
And talking about like breakfast tacos and being so hungry that have you ever accidentally eaten a piece of the foil that the breakfast taco comes in because you kind of unwrap it and
I mean, yeah,
like while you're driving, you're trying to like make like the self-contained bowl thing, so you keep it in the wrapper for half of it.
See, I don't even think it's like while you're driving. I think it's like, I think back to being like in 8th grade and you have like a tennis tournament or like whatever, and you're in the bus or you're wherever, and you're just kind of like mindlessly eating because your body's not accustomed to being up before 10 a.m. on a Saturday when you're that young. And so, but shout out to all the Saturday morning hangover listeners that are that young right now, obviously, that are awake. Yeah, like I've done it, like not even driving, like just standing around. Like that's the life for me.
RJ Ochoa joining me this morning, in for Jack Thompson, the Saturday morning hangover. The old gang is back together. Now, you said that we were going to have some WandaVision talk. So we're no spoilers though, because you have not finished it like you said you would. Surprise, surprise.
I'm actually going to guilt trip you right now.
Oh.
I didn't tell you this. I didn't tell you this part. My wife and I, my beautiful wife and I, will celebrate our 2-year wedding anniversary on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out to dinner last night to celebrate it. So that obviously, was priority numbers 1 through 10 for me on the evening. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to devote to watching WandaVision. So I hope you feel bad. Look at you. Wow. It's super insensitive.
I mean, I don't, because your anniversary is not until Tuesday. So the fact that you're trying to knock it out early instead of doing what you told me you were going to do, that's kind of a you thing. So I hope you feel bad about yourself for ruining what could have been part of the show.
Again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I think like I used to think, and I hate to steal this from Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers used to have this like 24-hour rule. Right? Like if you have gone over 24 hours since like proverbial television episode aired, at that point people can start discussing spoilers and stuff online. We're in a little bit of uncharted territory with the fact that this dropped. Like I guess we're approaching the 36-hour mark when this episode was originally released. But because it's streaming, because it's Friday, people have different things going on. By the way, a comment here on our Facebook feed from John Dyer, one of the longtime, most loyal, most handsome, I'll even say, listeners of the Saturday Morning Hangover. Appreciate the congratulations, JD. Hope your Saturday is off to a great start. Give the boys a big hug from Pledge and I.
RJ, we have officially reached the All-Star break in the NBA. I know it's
so we're just like turning.
Yeah, we're going to make a hard left here.
Let's talk about sports. Okay.
Well, you got your congratulations out of the way. You got all the ego boost that you needed. You haven't seen WandaVision. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, because I know what it was like trying to be on social media and dodging spoilers all day long. But I will just say this. I saw a lot of mixed reviews about how it ended. I thought it was fantastic. Why do you do this?
Why do you do this?
I just thought it was fantastic.
No, like this is a spoiler in and of itself, and like I hate that. Like I hate when people do this, because I feel like no, I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'm just going to tell you my thoughts. And like, here's the thing: anybody who listens to this knows you, knows Pledge, knows like how much you love Marvel entities and properties, and so like you offering up any thought is in and of itself a spoiler, because we, the consumer, know you. So like you say, like. If you like, we know, like,
I'm just saying I enjoyed it.
All I'm saying is, like, hypothetically, we know that you love Iron Man. Pledge's profile picture on like every platform in the world is him imposed as Iron Man. And so, like, if you had told me, as an example, after Infinity War, you know what, like, man, it just wasn't the Marvel movie for me, I would be like, guess what? Iron Man probably like gets the boot in this film because Pledge didn't like it. That's what I'm saying. Like we can piece together context clues from you saying stuff. So you shouldn't say anything. Come on, man.
I'm not saying anything. Anyway, it's the All-Star break. As the San Antonio Spurs sit there at 7th in the West, coming off a horrible loss, though, to Oklahoma City yet again. Were they just checked out? Did they leave at halftime and not come back?
Well, first of all, I was pleased to see that at halftime the Thunder did not change jerseys. I really was kind of hoping that would become like a normal thing in the NBA, but it didn't. And so, it is what it is. Yeah, I think they checked out. I think the Spurs are a playoff team. But I think the whole process is checked out. I mean, I don't mean that this is all just like going through the motions, but it is kind of just going through the motions.
I get it, but they are in 7th in the West. Things are looking pretty good. They've gotten through, by the time we return to the court, what looks to be getting through the COVID issues that they had, right?
Sure.
And so for the second half, what expectations do you have for this team, especially in wake of the fact that Shams Charania has said anybody over the age of 25 is likely on the trade block?
Yeah, that's cool. They won't trade anybody. Wow. Shout out to your friend James, of course. I hope that might be true. I'm not even going to read it. But
it might be, true, it might not be. I think he's just trolling.
And you put that up there. See, I'm not going to go into this, but anyway, I have a very simple sort of, not personal, but I think what is sort of personal objective for all of us as Spurs fans from here on out. They're not going to trade anybody. We know this. Like, that's not going to happen.
We go through this song and dance every single year, but this year feels different.
It doesn't.
I feel like that girl that's been cheated on like 18,000 times, but keeps going back to him. Like he's changed. This year's different.
I feel obligated to like make every reference to like anything that you and I have ever had in common because I'm here today. So like you're like Robin, and this is your Barney. Like you think you'll be the one to change it. Like good for you, Pledge. But I mean, like I have two goals, right? And they're both being accomplished right now. Finish as a higher seed in the Mavericks. Because like if you told me that would be the case at the beginning of the season, I would take that. And I would take that for a lot of reasons. Like I don't hate the Mavericks as much as most Spurs fans, but that would be really cool. And that would be a really like kind of interesting boost into next season when hopefully things are reworked and retooled a little bit. Again, another annual lie that we tell ourselves. The other thing is get into the dance and give me a really, really, really fun playoff series. That's all I want. I don't want a boring playoff series. And right now you're playing the Suns, and holy crap, that would be super awesome. Almost what should have arguably been the team of the Saturday morning hangover, by the way.
It for a brief shining moment was the team of the Saturday morning hangover.
It's not too late. I mean, like we could do it now. I don't see any reason why we couldn't.
I mean, what did we go from? We went from Suns to Hawks to Celtics.
Well, I guess that's true. But like, let's think about this. We were talking about the city jerseys that the Spurs have, which we can get into.
Dude, Phoenixes are fire.
That's what I'm saying. But so what does it say on Phoenixes? The verbiage on it. What is it? What did they say? Do you know what they say off the top of your head? Their city jerseys.
I know it's got the city skyline in the back. It's got the valley.
That's what I'm saying. So where do I live now? That's like now we can do it. Like now we have like the tie-in.
So are you coming back on every week now?
Look, all I'm saying is if we
Chris
need to,
Paul's a former Houston Rocket.
I mean, right? The whole reason we wanted to do it was Devin Booker. You know what I mean? Like I think we have to make the Suns the team of the Saturday morning hangover. I think that has to happen right now.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to discuss this during the break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the team that you spend the most time covering for Blogging the Boys, as RJ Ochoa is the editor for bloggingtheboys.com. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys because this is a very same yet different offseason for the Dallas Cowboys.
Very Spurs-esque.
And so we got to see if this thing's going to play out any differently than it has the past couple of seasons. We're going to talk about that next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Going for a few days without water, then being told to boil your water when it came back on, that got a lot of people thinking, is my tap water safe? Hey, this is David Van Camp. Alamo Water Softeners can help you out. They've got top-of-the-line water softeners and filtration systems. They'll come out to your house for a free water analysis and explain what they can do for you. And Alamo Water Softeners is a 2020 neighborhood favorite on Nextdoor. Go to alamowatersofteners.com to schedule a free water analysis. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Torres, founder of the Institute for Functional Health here in the heart of San Antonio. Has the healthcare model of the past century let you down? This story sounds all too familiar. You see doctor after doctor, Each one runs a few labs, prescribes a new medication, and invites you back in a few months for prescription refills, likely without a game plan. You're stuck in this endless cycle, while quite frankly, you don't feel much better than you did when you first started. Sure, your labs may improve. Your doctor may say everything looks normal, but you know better. You don't feel any better. This is exactly why I invite you to visit us here at the Institute for Functional Health, where we have reinvented patient care and are proud to invite you to the future of integrated modern medicine. We offer primary care for when you're sick or need prescription refills. But more importantly, our entire team focuses on finding the root cause of your symptoms and getting you off of your medications. So if you are tired of masking symptoms and are ready to get to the root cause of your problems, call us for a free consultation. 468-1891. 468-1891.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out, because when you find the perfect home, you don't want to lose it to anybody else. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers and their agents greater confidence in you. We've already helped over 1 million clients just like you reach their home financing goals this year alone. So remember this. What can help you buy the home you really want? Rocket can. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET. That's rocketmortgage.com or call 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenton Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Upon further inspection, those city uniforms are extremely dope, especially the shorts. I don't know. Decisions have to be made. John Dyer says we have to keep the Celtics. St. Patty's Day is coming up. And, you know, it is the team of the Saturday Morning Hangover. So you, the listener, are part of the Saturday Morning Hangover. We have to take your thoughts into account. So that being said, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just saying.
Why did I agree to come on here? Why? Why?
Because they're doing the same old song and dance that we've seen the past couple of seasons with Dak Prescott, right?
Yeah, they are.
And Tuesday is the first of the 2 deadlines that they have to reach with him, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So that second deadline would be July 15th?
That is correct.
Do you expect anything to happen before that second deadline?
I mean,
outside of clearing space in order to slap him with the tag.
So you're talking about the July deadline?
Yes.
So for full context, by Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the Cowboys have to decide whether or not they want to place the franchise tag on Dak Prescott or not. If they don't have a long-term deal in place with him, they will obviously place the franchise tag on him. The July deadline is the deadline to get a long-term agreement done, or else he has to play the year out on the tag like he did this past season. Dak Prescott is one of 3 Todd France clients who had to play on the franchise tag this past season. One of the other 2, Justin Simmons, the Denver Broncos safety, got his second tag placed on him yesterday. I fully expect, I mean, this is just my personal gut instinct opinion, that on Tuesday the Cowboys will place the franchise tag on Dak. I think that that's happening. because they've had over 2 years to get this done. And now with 3 days left, I really doubt their ability to get the ball across the goal line. I think that's a really dangerous thing to do. And I mean, here's the thing. And I can effectively promise you this, not you, Pledge, but you, the listener. If they get to July 15th with no deal and he has to play on the tag, that's it. This is his last season with the Cowboys. Because the way the franchise tag works is when you first place a tag on a player, you define the values set for the following 2 years. And it grows based off of a percentage, which is why last year's franchise tag value was $31.4 million, grows to almost 38. We'll call it $38 million this coming season. The franchise tag value for a third franchise tag in a row for Dak Prescott next year would be, again, we're approximating here, $54 million. There's just no way the Cowboys can afford that. And
that's untenable.
Right. And you can argue the literalness of this, but entering next offseason, that would be Dak Prescott's going rate, right? Because he would be staring a 1 year, $54 million deal in the face. And the Cowboys wouldn't be able to match that, and he would walk. They would have he would have every right to say my price is $54 million per year.
And not just that, but the fact that any other team can negotiate with him. Therefore, you can feasibly think there are going to be teams with A, more cap space, and B, they're willing to meet his contract demand in terms of length.
So they could only negotiate with him if the Cowboys this offseason don't place the exclusive tag on him. If they place the non-exclusive.
No, I meant next year going into that 50 whatever tag.
Well, and that's the thing. Like they could tag him next year if they really wanted to. They could tag him a third year in a row, but they can't absorb that cost. They simply can't. And so they would have to let him hit the open market. And to your point, he would have all sorts of deals and would be able to play them against one another. And so if that this isn't a dramatic thing. If you started the question with what do I think they get to July 15th? If they do, this is his last season with the Dallas Cowboys. It is the exact same sequence as the Kirk Cousins situation in Washington. And I don't have a 100% answer, but I do think that there is a larger than 50% chance that this doesn't get done by July 15th. I don't know what that percentage is in my mind. Like I kind of fluctuate. Some days I'm 60, some days I'm 65, 70, but I definitely think it's more likely than not that this does not get done just because, it hasn't.
Because Todd France.
Here's the thing. So let's live in that value because everybody looks at this. Let's just pretend we're looking at the numbers of it all. And everybody says, well, he's not as good as whoever. Okay, fine, whatever. You can believe that as much as you want, but welcome to business.
He's one of the top 5-6 quarterbacks in the league, hands down. You can't argue that. I have come around on my way of thinking in light of new evidence that Dak Prescott has showed me.
Right. So, we're approximating, we're rounding for the sake of easy math. He's got $38 million this year, fully guaranteed, off of this year's franchise tag, and he would get $54 million off of next year's franchise tag. He knows that he's got that in his effectively. He's just got to be a little bit brave, which we know that he is. He's got that in his pocket, so to speak, from the Cowboys. That's $92 million. If you add those, I'll do the math for you. 92 divided by 2 is right. 92 divided by 2 is 46. So what Dak Prescott kind of has is a 2-year deal, averaging $46 million per year, 100% fully guaranteed at an overall $92 million value. So if you're off, think about that. He's getting averaged $46 million a year, fully guaranteed per year.
Why would you take anything less?
Right. So even if he's being offered, call it $110 million full total guarantee. That's an exorbitant amount of money. Nobody's denying this. But that's only $18 more million total guaranteed for a contract that is double the life of that. You know what I'm saying? And so you've got to entice him one way or the other. There are 3 categories here. There's the contract length, and we know that was a deciding factor last year. Dak wanted 4 years, the Cowboys 5. There is the average value per year. I would estimate Dak's going to get somewhere around $41 million per year when this is all said and done. And there's the total guarantees. And if you want to win one of those, if you want that 5-year deal, you have to come to his place on one of them. You can't have all 3 be your way. If you want to take on one, you've got to give on the other, maybe the other 2. And that's just not happening. And I think, the Cowboys might have to completely guarantee his contract. Like, that's really ridiculous and wild. But
Kirk Cousins had it.
Right, but Kirk Cousins' value was.
He did that 3-year deal initially with Minnesota, fully guaranteed. Right. And that's kind of what Dak wants to re-get to the market to continue with the elevation of the contract prices.
Sure. And I think, but think about that. That was a 3-year deal, $84 million, totally, completely guaranteed. 84 divided by 3 is what, $28 million? $28 million per year?
He's since gotten another deal too.
Right, but like think about, and this was 2018 when Kirk signed that deal. So at the time, that was kind of the going rate because that was the year that Matt Ryan hit $30 million and was the first quarterback to do so. So even that was kind of market rate. So I think like if you want to play that out, the market rate value, and kind of copy that deal, the values are going to be larger. So it would have to be like a 3-year. In this hypothetical, $103 million, $123 million deal, total guaranteed. Like that would be a 3-year deal, averaging $41 million per year, and be completely guaranteed. And so the only way, Dak wins every one of those categories. But this is everybody thinks the Cowboys are betting against or working against the Russell deal or the Mahomes or whatever. No, the Cowboys are working against the franchise tag values. That they have to beat that, and they just haven't.
Now, Kirk Cousins, since last year, 1 year ago, almost to the day, March 16th, got a 2-year extension worth $66 million, so 33 per year. I mean, Kirk Cousins has laid out the kind of template for quarterbacks to continue to maximize the amount of monetary gain that they get at the quarterback position year after year with the franchise tag 1, franchise tag 2, short 3-year contract that allows you to re-hit the market at max value again. And he's capitalized again after that 3-year 84 that we talked about, totally guaranteed. He's now making 2 years at 66 on top of that. And I think Dak is doing something very similar, or looking to. At least you can tell that by the length of the contracts that he's looking for.
Think about this. I just mentioned that the deal I made up was 3 years, $123 million total guaranteed. The 3 franchise tags, last year's, this year's, and next year's hypothetical one for Dak. And this is why it made sense. Last year's, we're rounding again. Last year's franchise tag value was $31.4 million. We'll call it 31. This year's we'll call it 38. Next year's is 54. If you add those 3 values up, and it was simple to do this at the time, that was $123 million fully guaranteed, because the franchise tag is fully guaranteed.
Why would you take 110?
Right. So and that's for 3 years, right? And that's if they tag you, and they won't in that 3rd year. But so if we're Team Dak, right? Like we're Dak's representation, we're saying, okay, if Dak can be a little bit brave here, he's staring 3 years in a row where he can make $123 million completely guaranteed. And then the Cowboys come to you and say, hey, you should take our 5-year deal, so 2 more years, and we'll only give you $110 million total guaranteed. And we're going to offer you like $35 million per year versus this offers you 41 per year. I mean, it makes no sense. It truly doesn't. And it requires a bit of bravery. It requires a bit of boldness in Dak Prescott in terms of being willing to play on the tag, but he has shown that he is. And everybody always, chirps back and says, well, what if he gets hurt? Guess what? He got hurt last year, and he
hasn't changed anything.
He is the most sought after player in the NFL. Why? Because he is a quarterback. He is a top 5 quarterback. He represents the idea of perpetual hope in the National Football League, and teams will always convince themselves that is worth going after. And so, like, even if you want to say, like, even if Dak, God forbid, suffered an injury this season on the franchise tag, between the 2020 and 2021 seasons, he would have made, $69 million, total guaranteed, totally, completely all his money. And then he would still get a deal next year. Maybe it wouldn't be as large of a deal, but he would still get a deal where he would
somebody's going to pay.
Right. He would still, even if it dipped dramatically, even if it was like $80 million total guaranteed, when you combine that 80 with the 69 he made from the Cowboys, you're still talking about he comes out ahead. Yeah, maybe, his life changes, but I mean, from a monetary standpoint, he's still making more money.
Now, before we go to break, John Dyer asks, why are we adding next year's $54 million franchise tag if nobody in the world's ever going to pay him that? Because the fact that Dak could reach the open market, that's the enticer, because 54, no team can tentatively pay that feasibly. But if Dak were able to hit the open market, there's no telling what his actual value would be, because a quarterback of his value just doesn't hit the open market, especially at his age.
I know we have to go to break, but I'll rephrase that and say the reason we're factoring that in is because we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They would have to pay that. And if Dak does not come to terms, if you're the Dallas Cowboys and he doesn't come to terms with you, you have to pay that next year if you want to keep him. That's why we're factoring it in. And so that's like, it's not money in the bank for Dak.
It's a bargaining chip, though.
It is a heavy bargaining chip, because Dak's team knows, his personal team, if you're talking to the Dallas Cowboys and we don't agree to the deal that you want us to, sign next year, you have to pay that or we're going to walk. And I mean, that's the reason why placing quarterbacks under the franchise tag is a dangerous proposition. The moment the Cowboys tagged Dak Prescott last year, they immediately began bargaining against these values, not the open market, because it's a very unique situation.
And even then, the open market itself is tough to bet against, especially with the Cowboys, because unless he just wants to stay in Dallas, which if he did, you'd think he would have done this by now, other teams can offer more with more cap space that, can say, Dak, we love you more. We'll even give you the years you're looking for. And that's something that the Cowboys seem unwilling to bend to. He is RJ Ochoa. I am James Pledger. You can follow us on Twitter. He is at RJ Ochoa. I am at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at ESPN_SA. Quick reminder, coming up today, the Texas A&M Aggies wrap up the regular season as they take on the 12th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. Tip-off set for 4 o'clock, and it's a game you can catch right here starting at 3:30 with the pregame. As always, Texas A&M basketball on ESPN San Antonio is brought to you by the Roo Pub, which is where I got this awesome hoodie for if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube live feeds, and the Angry Elephant. Also, Texas Tech hits the court tomorrow as they close out the season against the 3rd-ranked Baylor Bears. Tip-off for that game set for 3 o'clock. Pre-game starts at 2, so a big weekend of college basketball right here on ESPN San Antonio. When we come back, we're going to finish up this Dak discussion with what the Cowboys need to look forward to now, especially with the impending franchise tag, the money they have to clear, and then possibly preparing for what RJ says is life without Dak Prescott, ? We'll talk about it next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7, bringing you all the best guests.
DeMarcus Ware joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. We get to go to Oxnard every year to cover Cowboys training camp, and as much as I love the Cowboys coming to San Antonio, you can't beat what was in Oxnard, right?
You can't, man, and it was so crazy. I made a joke with some of the guys about this station. It was 94.5. 94 is the number that I wore. Yeah, I never got an interview with you guys. I was like, man, I wanted to make that joke of, I see why you guys chose 94 and why you guys wanted to do the interview with me.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
2 chocolate chip muffins coming in. Thank you.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Hey, can someone get that?
Like at Claire's Cafe. To satisfy demand for takeout, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow crafted in Texas since 1949.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, bump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
I want the house.
What? All the money I spent and you think you should get?
Why shouldn't I? All the sacrifices I made for your precious little business.
That business paid for everything you have.
The business I was never paid to work for?
Oh, don't even go there.
Oh, I'm going there.
Divorce can be ugly, especially for your spouse. Call the Calfis Law Group today. Prepare yourself before they do. 212-6969. That's 212-6969. The Calfis Law Group, the group that specializes in divorce.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger. Jack Thompson is out today, so the OG is back in the building. RJ Ochoa, you know him, you love him. He is the original Rock the Mic champ, numero uno, number one in your programs and in your hearts. He's also the editor of bloggingtheboys.com. And we're talking about Dak Prescott and the possibility of this second tag and the likelihood that he plays on the tag again this year, or whether he'd work out a long-term deal. Do the Cowboys have to start making a contingency now for next year? Because the draft's coming up, they're picking as high as they've picked since Zeke. Do they at least need to put equity into it, or is there another deal out there if they can't get this hammered out by the draft?
I mean, it would be. So here's the thing: the first franchise tag deadline of note is Tuesday, right? The Cowboys, if they don't have a deal done with Dak Prescott, will have to place the franchise tag on him on Tuesday. The next deadline of note is July 15th. Yep. And something that happens in between those dates is the NFL draft and free agency. And everybody knows this, including Team Dak. And again, Team Dak is Dak's representation. And so it would be categorically irresponsible of the Cowboys to not pursue a plan. But, I mean, the degree of the plan is kind of up to their own feel for the Dak Prescott negotiations. Do they need to be involved in the quarterback frenzy that we anticipate happening across the NFL that has already begun with Jared Goff and Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson, I suppose?
We're getting into that too, don't worry. I'm aware it's not just your team that is completely mishandling things.
Do they need to sign, like what's the level of veteran they need to sign? Like, is it just a dude to chill? Is it a legitimate person? Say Trey Lance falls to them at 10th overall.
Ooh.
Do they pull the trigger? And I mean, like, how do you answer that question? You can't. Like, the only way you can answer that question is whether you believe you're going to get a deal done with Dak or you're not. And I mean, that will obviously impact your decision making if you're the Dallas Cowboys. And that is yet another point of leverage that Dak Prescott's representation has over the Cowboys, because they can negotiate through this entire window, right? But say I'm the Cowboys and say you're Dak's representation,
okay,
and I come to you, a week before free agency, dude, we don't know what we want to do, here's our latest offer, and that I'm sweating it because
how many years is that offer?
Right, I mean, and it's 4 years. Nope, we want 3 now.
Nope, I want 3.
Right, the deal changed. It's tomorrow's the draft. Like
I went 3 at 41.
Yeah, tomorrow's the draft. We think Trey Lance is going to be there. Okay, so what? Take him then. Take him if you really think he's going to be there. We'll hit the open market next year. it is
the Chicago Bears would be willing to sign anything that we put in front of them right now.
Right. And that fact that the draft and free agency fall in between those two deadlines, I mean, to say the Cowboys have painted themselves into a corner isn't even the right way to put it. They are screwed. I mean, like they need to they will jump when they won't jump, but they have to jump whenever Dak Prescott's team says jump. I mean, and so what's gonna likely happen is they're gonna tag him on Tuesday, and they're gonna go through free agency and the draft and assume that everything is gonna work out with Dak because that's who the Cowboys are, and then they're gonna make plans that he's gonna be our QB1. And then you're going to give Dak Prescott's representation even more leverage because they're going to know, hey, dude,
you don't have a plan.
Yeah, you just went through all of the team building processes of the offseason. You just had a top 10 pick. You didn't do anything to address the quarterback situation. Dak is already a highly valued quarterback, but he is literally all that you've got unless you want TikTok star Ben DiNucci. So, I mean, you have to play by our terms. And that's what I'm saying. Like there will come whenever you pay a quarterback, there always comes a point where you have to bend the knee. That's just the way it is. But the Cowboys, because they have refused and because they let this drag out,
Jerry doesn't lose, man.
Well, they're going to have to bend both knees. Like that's the thing. Like it's normally not that painful of a process, but now it's very difficult, and they're relying on some level of goodwill or good faith from Dak, and that's a really what is it? Hope is not a strategy.
I would like to. I put this into the ether. What was it? 2 weeks ago, where Russell Wilson
ether or ether?
It's ether.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't think you're right.
The aether was the Infinity Stone.
I don't care. So what are you putting into the ether?
I'm throwing out what was it, 2 weeks ago when Russell Wilson's agent low-key put out a list of the 4 teams and
the Dallas Cowboys and a half ago.
Week and a half. He is 3 years, $70 million left on his contract, right?
Yes, but the guaranteed portion of his contract runs out this year.
Exactly.
This is the last year of that happening.
I'm sure Russell Wilson would be more than happy to sign a 5-year deal, right?
I mean, but again, so think about what you're dealing with here.
I'm aware.
Russell's whole objective here is I want this to be about me. I want to go somewhere where I'm the superstar. I'm the center of the offense. I'm the center of attention. Cool, fine, Russell. Good luck. Honestly, I want to see that happen. But so if you think you're going to acquire Russell Wilson, which is going to take an incredible surrendering of draft capital, and that after the year where the guaranteed portion of his contract runs up, he's not going to want another extension. I mean, and that extension isn't going to be something he wants to be at market rate, which is then going to have to surpass whatever deal Dak Prescott got with his new team. I mean, you're fooling yourself. Because Russell's going to want that. He's going to say, look, I'm in my early 30s. I want it now. And Russell, kind of like Laramie Tunsil with the Texans, is going to have all of the leverage. Think about the leverage Dak has. But Russell's going to say, not only do you not have anything else, but you literally gave everything up to get me. I'm literally all you have, so you have to pay me. And you're going to be screwed.
You do have to pay him. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, in terms of the length of the contract, being able to spread it out regardless, because that seems to be the main sticking point with Dak Prescott and his representation, is the ability to spread the money out over 5 years instead of 4 or 3, right?
Yeah. It's so stupid that it's about a year. It was. I think it's about more than that now.
But Russell Wilson would more than likely probably, especially at age 30, to surrender that 5 years, 6 years, whatever Dak's willing to do, or whatever he's willing to do to get down into Dallas, which would give him offensive weaponry that he doesn't have outside of DK Metcalf, a run game.
Wow,
and
the Tyler Lockett disrespect. Wow.
I mean, do you think that Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb are both better than Tyler Lockett?
Michael Gallup's in a contract year. So like if you're going to pay Russell Wilson all this money, you're not going to have the contract, ability to keep Michael Gallup around.
There's also a good chance that you're sending Michael Gallup in exchange for Russell Wilson.
But here's the other thing too. I mean, like the new deal Russell's going to want with whatever team it is, even if it's the Seahawks. Yes, fine, you'll get your 5th year, but the value and the guaranteed money is going to have to be market rate. He'll say, "I'll take your 5th year." But because I'm going to, you're gonna give me 40. Like at that point, it's gonna be like $42, $43 million per year, right? At that point, just from a monetary standpoint, you're approaching Patrick Mahomes' contract. You're gonna have to give me $140 million guaranteed. So you're gonna have to give up more total guaranteed. You're gonna have to give up more per year. You're gonna have to give up all of the draft capital. But congratulations, you're gonna get the 5th year you wanted. It's 3 rights when you could just make 1 left.
Sure, I'm not saying it's right, but you said yourself. And I also believe that if Dak Prescott plays this year on the franchise tag, he will not be a Dallas Cowboy in 2022 because it's simple math. They can't slap that 3rd franchise tag on him. And there's going to be another team that's going to be able to not only give him exactly what he wants in terms of contract length, but is going to offer more money as well, just because it's a free market.
Here's the other reason why this is all dumb, is the Cowboys. I hate the term window. I hate the, win now jargon, but they are operating in a very clearly defined window. Kellen Moore, when he signed his extension, and Kellen Moore, you're not going to get another extension out of him because
he'll be
the
a
end
head
of this,
coach.
Yeah, at the end of this, he'll still be under 35. And so, I mean, you've got a 3-year extension with Kellen Moore. You brought Dan Quinn in on a 3-year deal. You've got that 3-year window. So you're just going to burn this year, right? Like in this hypothetical, right? Like this is just a lost year. Maybe you win the Super Bowl and everything's worth it. Fine. I think we all think that's, much less likely than it is probable, but still fine. It is a possibility, but you're probably not going to. So you're going to burn this year. And then next year, you're either going to have to give up everything to like really go all in, or you're going to have to start over. You believe that this offensive coordinator is a really great and bright offensive mind in the game of football. So then you're going to waste the second of his 3-year deal, contract, kind of just rebuilding, retooling, relearning, reinstituting and all this stuff. And at this point, your offensive line that's already running on fumes is really starting to collapse. And so like you are just, you're just wasting all of our time. Like that's all you're doing here. And then Kellen leaves. And you're probably going to have to move on from Mike McCarthy. And then you are like truly starting over, but you're starting over like 2 years after you should have been starting over. It's
unless you believe that Kellen Moore is the eventual replacement of Mike McCarthy.
Sure. But I mean, in order to like field that assessment properly, why wouldn't you set Kellen Moore up with a franchise quarterback for the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you say, Kellen, I'm going to make things as difficult as possible for you to prove that you deserve to be the most important coach in the building? It's an insane, way to operate.
656 ESPN 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. He is RJ Ochoa. I am James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover. When we come back, a quick look at the Spurs as they hit the All-Star break. Does DeMar DeRozan feel neglected? And should he feel neglected after recent events in the All-Star Game substitution patterns? That's coming up next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
The latest on your silver and black.
DeMar is playing as good a basketball as he's ever played. He's playing as good a ball as he ever played in Toronto when he was an All-Star. He's doing more with less. My concern is, does that matter to him? Because if it does, that's one strike against the Spurs, where if you play here, even if you play well, you're not going to get the notoriety, and the fans aren't going to dive in and help you and vote you to an All-Star game if you're worried about things like that. Could be another reason for him to leave.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
When's the last time you looked at your bathroom? Second thought, you might not want to make eye contact with that old faucet. It's time to head to Lowe's for some home improvement. Choose from stylish brands like American Standard, Delta, and Style Selections, and transform your before bathroom into an amazing after bathroom. Woohoo! You can't see her, but she's high-fiving herself. Don't just do it yourself. Do it for yourself. Stop by Lowe's or visit Lowe's.com/DIFY for vanities starting at $99. Valid through 3/31 U.S. only.
Hello?
Hi, I'm calling on behalf of the Mice Nest.
Mice Nest?
Yes, Mice Nest. It's a nest of mice. They finished chewing through your RV wiring, so the fire should start soon.
Can we cancel that?
Oh, sorry. Once scheduled, they can't really stop because they're mice. A nest of them.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
Oh, and if you could stay on the line for a quick survey.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Most of us don't think about our brakes until we need to think about our brakes. Jason Minix here for newbrakes.com, nubrakes.com. They are a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. They will come to your home or office or wherever you are. Busy work schedule, no problem. Relaxing at the house, no worries. New Brakes comes to you, and they will repair your brakes while you do whatever it is you do. At New Brakes, they only fix brakes. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs without the normal upsells traditional repair shops love to give you once your car is up on the lift. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews. If your brakes are squeaking or grinding, go to newbrakes.com and schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN. Newbrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
My name is Kate Courtley, and this is my new show, Can You Survive This Podcast? I'll be drawing on my years as a former Navy SEAL platoon commander, sniper, and CIA contractor. The show is designed to teach you techniques that will increase your chances of survival if you happen to find yourself or your family in any life-threatening disaster scenario imaginable. Subscribe and listen for free on Spotify. Can You Survive This Podcast?
Hey, let's get one.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I'm James Pledger, joined by RJ Ochoa, the original Rock the Mic co-host, or Rock the Mic champion and co-host of the Saturday Morning Hangover. He's filling in for Jack Thompson today. RJ, the San Antonio Spurs have hit the All-Star break, but they don't have any All-Stars, and one Spur in particular seems to have an issue with that.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Shortly after Devin Booker's replacement, Mike Conley, was announced.
Devin Booker, a member of the team that decided to run a hangover, by the way, the Phoenix Suns.
We're still debating it. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this, but possible.
Team of the Saturday run a hangover starting March 18th. So that we can properly enjoy St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. The second place Suns, by the way.
Right.
He tweeted out, gets to a point where you got to laugh at the bull bleep.
You don't have a sound effect bleep?
I do. I'm just being lazy right now. Really kind of, slacking off of this final segment.
You think, Pledge Holmes over here, you think that DeMar found out Mike Conley was replacing Devin Booker and said, man, I disagree, and wanted to publicly vent his frustrations. That's what you think.
The Utah Jazz just got raked through the coals during the All-Star draft.
Of course.
And then, secondly, did you know Mike Conley was still on the Utah Jazz?
I didn't. I mean, no. I want to play a game.
He's playing that well.
I want to play a game with you, Pledge.
Stat game?
Let's start with points per game. How many points per game does Mar have this season? And they've both, by the way, played 29 games for the purposes of full content.
Oh, nice. DeMar DeRozan, I think he's averaged around 24 points a game.
Wrong. 20 points per game for DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
How many points per game does Mike Conley have?
I'm gonna guess 16.
So wow, 16.1.
That was close.
What do you think Mike Conley's field goal percentage is?
57%.
Wrong. 44.
Oh, that's really good.
What do you think DeMar's is?
I know he has a true shooting percentage of 59. I don't know what his actual shooting percentage is. I'm going to guess it is probably 54%.
48.
Okay.
What do you think DeMar's 3-point percentage is?
I don't know what it is, but how many has he even taken?
He has taken
7?
Oh,
More over under 7.
well, he's taken 1.8 per game.
Okay.
So it's 31 for full context.
Yeah.
That Mike Conley's got him beat. All right, so maybe this is the explanation. He's at 42.
He's a better 3-point shooter.
Yeah. What do you think Mike Conley's free throw percentage is?
It's not good.
What do you think it is? Give me a guess.
82%.
It is 83. So well done. What do you think DeMar's is?
He's shooting probably 89, 90%.
It is 89%. So these are some basic
math.
Yeah, like basic statistical data points here. Do you think this is a result of, I know they did get rigged through the call. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, of course. But do you think this is a result of being on a successful team? Generally speaking.
Sure. I mean,
that's
part
all
of
this
it,
is.
but even then, like there are 13 guys I probably would have thought of before I would have gotten to Mike Conley's name.
So then does DeMar have a right to be upset?
I think he does have a right to be upset.
Is DeMar the next guy up?
The question becomes, though, he should be the next guy up. But the question becomes, though, if this matters to him, which it seems it does, why would you stay in San Antonio? Seeing as he only has,
DeMar?
seeing as he's in the final year of his deal, and if these things are important to you and you know you're not getting any recognition in the San Antonio outside of being singularly great, and DeMar's putting together probably one of the best statistical seasons outside of, scoring average of his entire career when you come down to a shooting percentage, free throw percentage, 3-point percentage, even assists per game, rebounds per game, just his total game. He's having the best basketball season of his career probably. And already 2 replacements have gone in front of you for the All-Star reserves as injury reserves. And if this matters to you, what then is the draw of staying in San Antonio?
Yeah, like if you believe that Mike Conley got this bump because he's on a successful team, like I wouldn't even not a big market team, but I mean just successful team, right? Like winning cures all. I mean, you're right. Like why stay? I mean, I think that's a fair question.
You're 7th in the West anyway. It's not like you're a winning team, but you're not a winning team.
No, like it sucks to say out loud, but what's the draw? I mean, outside of Bill Miller's and Alamo Cafe, what's keeping you there?
The Knicks are going to have some money this offseason.
Like DeMar would be an awesome Knick, honestly. Right? Like he would be an awesome
playing
Knick.
And in the Garden.
Yeah, like I mean that in the best possible way. Like he is made for New York City. Like that would be incredible to watch. I mean, and he would look like DeMar. We were talking about the Fiesta jerseys. DeMar gets that your gear has to look sick.
Yeah,
and he would really revive the Knick brand in that respect. I'm in a weird way. I'm kind of rooting for that now.
It's one of the things where, especially when you voice that out loud and then you take the Shams tweet from earlier this week about most veterans, including DeMar, LaMarcus, Patty, Trey Lyles, and Rudy Gay being on the trade block. And all of those guys are on expiring deals, if you think about it. Get something for DeMar. Because it's going to be really hard to re-sign him unless you cash whip him, probably.
Why? But I mean, how many actual years in a row now has it been? You might as well get something for DeMar. Might as well get something for LaMarcus. You might
You're beating your head against the wall. It kind of feels like the Dak Prescott thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've had this, and both fine players. I would love to see them both win titles. I would love to see them both win titles in San Antonio, but it's not happening. You know what I mean? Let them I don't mean this the exact way it sounds, but give them the Blake Griffin treatment. You know what I mean? Set them free. You know what I mean? And if you can benefit from it in the process, do it. Why wouldn't you? But I digress.
He is RJ Ochoa. I am James Pledger. You can follow us on Twitter. He is at RJ Ochoa. I am at I am Pledger. Hour number 2 coming up next.
O'Reilly. Trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car, like 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $26.99. Extend the life of your vehicle and improve performance with a synthetic oil change. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Your home for everything ESPN Cowboys. San Antonio. All
Touchdown, Cowboys.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio.
This is SportsCenter.
James Pledger, Jack Thompson. The Saturday Morning Hangover.
Bienvenidos a todos al Saturday Morning Hangover aquí en 1250 ESPN San Antonio 94.5 FM y on the go at ESPNSA.com. He is James Pledger. I am not Jack Thompson. Congratulations to Jack on the wedding he's at, wherever it's at, the West Coast, the East Coast, Canada, Antarctica. I'm RJ Ochoa. What up?
God, I've missed that.
Yeah. It felt like a shock of energy. That's what it felt like.
Speaking of shocks of energy, the Dallas Cowboys aren't the only team.
Oh, we're just going right in. Like,
they're not the only team. They're not the only team that has completely mishandled the quarterback position.
Actually, hang on. Wait a second. Wait a minute. I brought this hour in. Okay. I want to set this up.
You go for it.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna bend the knee.
Okay, I don't remember what we spoke about the last time I was on the Saturday Morning Hangover. If I'm honest, I imagine it was Dak. But what I do know is that I have not been on the Saturday Morning Hangover since the Deshaun Watson saga.
You have not.
Pledge and I are good friends, so I have gotten his personal opinions on this. But I am super excited to hold your feet to the public radio fire. I think, I'm not saying like, I'm the first person to think this. I think that we have reached the point of no return here. And kind of like we were just talking about with the Spurs, hey, you might as well get something for DeMar or whatever, similar sort of thing. The time has come. You just have to accept that this is what it is, and you have to trade him. Because if you don't, you're gonna ripple this into your future. Like this is an infection. You know, like when you're sick and you have the night where you like sweat and you like wake up and you're soaked in your own sweat, but you feel better. You need that purge right now, or else you're just going to stay infected.
The aftermath of waiting past the draft immediately decreases the value of what you can get in return for Deshaun Watson. Because at least right now, you know, the Jets have 2 first-round picks and the 2nd overall. The Dolphins have 2 first-round picks and the 3rd overall, and you can tangibly, the Panthers have the 8th overall pick. You know where people stand. Once the draft
can't trade him to the Dolphins. This is a take of mine, by the way. You can't.
That was a take of mine too, just because trading for your own pick back in the Laramie Tunsil deal and what you did to protect Deshaun Watson feels so slimy and dirty and horrible. You just can't, unless Nick Caserio and his evaluation of Tua Tagovailoa going into last year's draft was, this dude's a franchise quarterback.
So, okay, but let's think about that, right? Like, play that out. Say you believe that Tua is a franchise quarterback. Tua has a very distinct quality that completely changes, like literally the origins of that trade. Yeah. You traded for Laramie Tunsil to be your like left tackle to protect Deshaun.
But that's for a right-handed quarterback.
Right. So like suddenly the values and priorities of this are literally flipped. You can't like I don't normally ascribe to this theory, but you cannot trade for your own pick back. You will never, ever, ever, ever be forgotten for that. You simply can't. I think the best spot is Carolina, but here's my thought too. I think that you need a lot of time if you're the Texans organization. You need a lot of time to let all of this wash over. My favorite thing about the Lions trading of Matthew Stafford and acquiring Jared Goff in the process is that the premium picks that they got don't begin until next year. We all believe, God willing, this fall's football on a collegiate and NFL level will be closer to normal than usual. Still won't be the exact same, obviously. I want nothing to do with this draft. This is the worst draft to have a top 10 pick or top 5 pick, whatever, ever, because you have like the least amount of information possible. It would be terrifying to draft, like the Cowboys might draft Chase Sewell or Caleb Farley, and they're players that haven't played in a year. Like I would want my premium picks to be next year, especially if I'm the Texans, because I need a year's worth of time to let everybody forget all about this. I need somebody else to do something stupid. And next year, when the cap is back, I'll have all my resources. I'll be a year removed from Deshaun, etc. But I have a different twist on this take, because I maintain that you can't trade him to Miami. But I think Carolina is the coolest fit. Also, he would look sick in that uniform.
It's not the best.
Right. But so if I don't know if you guys have explored this or not, but if the NFL if they do institute a 17th game this season, per the formula that 17th game is supposed to derive from, the Houston Texans will play the Carolina Panthers. That's just an incredible twist of fate. So like that wouldn't have happened if not for the inclusion of the 17th game. So are you against trading Deshaun to Carolina in that you don't want to see him right away? Because that would be hilarious for Panthers fans. That would be like, we would have had Deshaun Watson if not for this injecting of this new game this particular year.
No. My dream destination for Deshaun Watson is the New York Jets, because they have the 2nd overall pick. I am very high and have been since early this season on Zach Wilson, and it's set.
Oh
no, yeah, you can't draft Justin Fields. David Mulligeta is his agent, and you're going through this with Deshaun Watson, and David Mulligeta is his agent. You got to distance yourself from that for a little while. I don't think you want to work with him, especially after the no trade clause and everything, and him just signing this deal. It's too fresh. I don't think your next franchise quarterback can share the same agent. Zach Wilson of BYU is a guy that I've been saying since probably October will be the 2nd quarterback taken in this draft. And he has obviously ascended to that height. I believe he has a whole lot of intangibles. You might get a stopgap starter to start the season and kind of continue on. And plus, not only do you get the 2nd pick, and they have 2 picks this year, they have 2 picks next year. And it is a team that is not very good. And we've seen Dak's on a team this year that is not very good. So if you trade him to the Jets, even Deshaun, even on the Jets, is he good enough to lift them to any kind of relevance? Now, they do have a lot of free agent money. I also believe the Texans should franchise tag and trade Will Fuller as well.
So, I mean, I think Will Fuller walks. I mean, he's he's a free agent. I think
that's what I'm saying. So, you franchise tag him and trade him.
I mean, but okay, that's a different thing. I want to give credit to my friend Jimmy. Did you ever go by Jimmy?
No.
At any point?
Never. Absolutely not.
And what about your buddy James? Never went by Jimmy? Neither one of you?
Absolutely not.
Neither one of you have gone down the gym rabbit hole?
No,
Really?
no,
That's
there's no gyms.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Okay, but you're acting like I'm pulling this like out of nowhere.
No. I just don't like. I've always gone by either Pledger or Pledge.
Okay. Anyway, my friend Jimmy, not you, is a Houston Texans fan. And is of the mindset that if you're the Texans, you have to be as petty as possible. Make him retire, like that, because if you trade him, you open up a can of worms. That like this is possible, and his thought process is that people like other teams around the NFL might feel like, hey, Texans, don't screw this up.
Yeah.
Because if you do, look at Russell Wilson now. We're going to end up with all these situations where all these players are going to want to be moving, player empowerment, etc. But so I mean. I think that's a fair way to think, is that maybe you just make him retire.
And to think about it, because I have brought this up, and it's a thought process I've wondered with them being so dug in on we're not trading Deshaun. I mean, you are 5 months removed from giving him this massive contract. You haven't even made it half a year to this point. So if you're the Texans, and especially like you as a Cowboys fan know this, the Rams broke the market when going to the table early to re-sign Todd Gurley and giving him everything he wanted, which led to the power that Ezekiel Elliott then wielded that following training camp, which got him the big contract. And instead of letting it play out franchise, the way they're doing it with Dak,
Well, and then to that point, that domino tipped, then Zeke tipped, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook. And thank you because I have long said the Rams deserve a lot of blame. And the Rams blinked on Jared Goff.
Yes.
And I actually think that was still smart of them. That was still smart of them to pay their quarterback early, because if they had hit, it would look like a bargain
Super Bowl
right now.
the next year.
I mean, no, he got paid after that. It was right after that.
Oh, okay.
But still, the point
he
is, like,
was in a Super Bowl.
But if there's a position to blink on, it's the quarterback position. It's not the running back position. But again, I digress.
And that's the thing. When you look at the Texans, there might be a lot of owners in the league with a vested interest in being like, guys, you can't allow this to happen, because if it does, Pandora's box opens and the NFL suddenly turns into the NBA in terms of player movement.
That's true. I believe that Deshaun is serious.
I do too.
So I think it's fair for the Texans to consider. And I feel so bad for Nick Caserio. I really do. This sucks. I mean, like, you might not get another opportunity to ever be an NFL general manager, and that's why you can't trade Deshaun Watson just because he wants you to.
I also believe that it makes sense, not just for the organization, but the league, because you're setting a precedence of players with power getting what they wanted. And especially with Deshaun Watson, who has a no trade clause on top of that. So if you were able to work out a trade to, let's say, the Washington football team, because they had the best package of talent and picks, let's say they wanted to send you 3 first-round picks and Chase Young. And that was by far the best offer, and 2 first rounds. But Deshaun says, no, I'm not going to Washington. I want to go to Miami. Because then you've looked like you've pulled the trigger that he has then squashed and made you look even worse as an organization.
It's tough. I know we've both kind of gone back and forth here. We started this segment off with, you absolutely have to trade him. You have to trade him. You have to trade him. That's the thing. Like, if you are ever
for maximum value, you have to trade him before the draft.
Yeah. If you are ever going to trade him, it has to be now. It has to be. Because what you don't want is you don't want him to say, fine, I retire, and then this year you're just stuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would suck. And then trade him next offseason.
Because then you got the first round pick next
less
year.
Value.
The Texans are so bad. If he retires, they get the number 1 overall pick and get to jumpstart with the new quarterback of the future next year. So him retiring doesn't affect me in a sense, in terms of no, seriously, because I expect this team to be bad, and anybody that's looked at this team expects them to be bad. I mean, they did a very good job.
Well, they're going to be bad because one way or another, he's not playing for them this season. So, that's why they're going to be bad. By the way, so that would give them earned number 1 overall picks twice in 9 drafts, twice out of 9 drafts, in 14 and then 22. So I don't know if I think the Bengals had back-to-back number 1 overall picks like in the 80s. But that'd be
3 in franchise history.
But the first one was not
Respect
earned.
David
the first
Clark.
one
it was earned.
No, but like I'm saying, like, it wasn't like you were this failure of an organization. I'm saying, like, you were an expansion team. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, but like the 14 one was truly earned. And man, here's my let's put this in
Think about
perspective.
Deshaun's rookie year 5 years ago. They had Dwayne Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Davion Clowney, J.J. Watt, all not on the team anymore.
Will Fuller as well. Obviously, who could be off the team. Yep. And don't besmirch Lamar Miller's name, please. Wasn't Brian Cushion still there at that time?
He was still playing. I believe that was his final year.
I mean, and you had his rookie year, Mike Vrabel still. Right?
Mike Vrabel was the defensive coordinator. Yes.
So, and I know that every Texans fan hated him. Right. I know every Texans fan hated him, but I mean, he has gone on to become an incredible, better than any head coach the Texans have had.
And they've known that, though. That's why they kicked Romeo upstairs and elevated him to defensive coordinator, because they were afraid of losing him.
Let me ask you this question. Somebody says, "Hey, Pledge, I love you. I want to get you a St. Patrick's Day gift. I want to get you a Houston Texans jersey. Who do you want?" Who's your answer? Honestly,
I honestly don't have one. I don't have an answer for that.
If you have to pick one, who is it?
I mean, there's nobody on the team worth owning a jersey for at this moment. If you think about it, I guess the one person that I might
Kiki Cutesy.
I think if there was one person that there might be somebody that was they might be there for more than 2 years. Justin Reed, maybe.
Wow.
That's where we're at.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you could get an ironic one, your Tom Savage hoodie is an incredible piece of memorabilia.
It is so great.
But
respect Tom Savage.
How about Fairbarn? I mean,
Nick Caserio's been purging.
Put some respect on.
Nick Caserio has been purging bad contracts. And we saw it with Nick Martin, and then yesterday the addition of Justin Britt to replace him on the offensive line, it looks like, at a much cheaper salary. He has gotten rid of a bunch of guys that have had bloated contracts. Kaimi Fairbairn is one of those bloated contracts that I could see them moving on from. Along with Whitney Merciless here and Benardic McKinney in the coming days.
Those would have been jersey candidates, but
I don't expect them to be there very long. RJ,
wow.
Do you like it? Do you like it? Because I've reveled in your pain a lot over the years. Was it enjoyable to turn the tables on me?
I mean, Pledge, you have made us talk about a number of different things for 3 years. I don't think one 15-minute segment is equal repayment. So, I mean, it wasn't even a whole segment. So no, I'm not satisfied.
I mean, it's a little more than a segment. We're at 17. We're working our way into the second segment here. I mean,
but we started off with the intro, and we're not equal at all.
No, because you made fun of me. So, no small talk. We're just gonna dive right into this.
I mean, let's dive into something. What do you want to dive into next?
The Dallas Cowboys. Or I'll let you pick the Dallas Cowboys or college hoops.
Whatever you want, Pledge. Just throw it a break and we'll come back.
He is RJ Ochoa. You can follow him on Twitter at RJ Ochoa. He is immediately regretting his decision to accept my invitation to come back onto the Saturday Morning Hangover. I am James Pledger. You can follow me at I am Pledger. You can watch along on Facebook and YouTube Live at ESPNSA.com. And speaking of ESPNSA.com, go there right now. We are driving to end hunger. Yes, ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing have come together on our drive to end hunger. With the pandemic still in full swing and many families still struggling financially, we have come together to support the San Antonio Food Bank to help to set the table for 58,000 individuals a week. Join us and do what you can at ESPNSA.com. Donate We're accepting donations until March 19th. Every dollar counts. ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing's Drive to End Hunger is brought to you in part by Quarter Moon Heating and Air Conditioning, Roof Fix, and Airtron Heating and AC. Coming up next, RJ Ochoa gets to talk about his favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Jason Minix here from ESPN San Antonio for my friends at Alamo Water Softeners. Following the winter storm and freeze, lots of people have asked, is the water safe to drink? And if you have a water softener, do you need a water filter? Alamo Water Softeners recommends both. Call today for a free water analysis. Alamo Water Softeners will come test your water for free and give you an estimate. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
When's the last time you looked at your bathroom? Second thought, you might not want to make eye contact with that old faucet. It's time to head to Lowe's for some home improvement. Choose from stylish brands like American Standard, Delta, and Style Selections, and transform your before bathroom into an amazing after bathroom. Woohoo! You can't see her, but she's high-fiving herself. Don't just do it yourself. Do it for yourself. Stop by Lowe's or visit lowes.com/DIFY for vanities starting at $99. Valid through 3/31 U.S. only.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Okay, class, let's bump it up to 9.
Come on, Limu, keep pedaling. We got to build our endurance to let more people know that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Pick up the pace, bird legs.
Hey, don't talk to Limu like that.
I'm not, I'm talking to you.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Savings are based on Quicken Loans. Internal data. Points and fees may apply. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLSconsumerAccess.org number 330.
Hello? Hello, Mrs. Kuntz. It's the back left tire of your RV calling. Wanted to give you a heads up that I'm going to blow out on the highway later today.
Wait, what?
Says here I'm going to burst in the middle of rush hour.
Well, can we reschedule?
Sorry, our policy states that once we're scheduled to burst, we have to. We really pride ourselves on our commitment to blowouts.
RV owners can't schedule when things go wrong on the road. That's why there's Progressive, a leader in RV insurance.
You want a text confirmation when I burst?
Think I'll notice.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome back into the Saturday morning hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger. I am joined by RJ Ochoa, who is sitting in for Jack Thompson. RJ, my man, you good? No? Yes? Maybe? Possibly?
No.
Okay.
No.
So.
No.
How much college basketball have you been watching this year? On a scale of like 1 to 1,000. Is it like 50? Is your Google box not working properly?
Are we back?
We are back.
Are we back?
Did you fall
okay,
off?
Sorry. No, I mean, peek behind the curtain here. We're not. It's not twigs and glue here, but it's a bit of a loose operation.
Cans and strings
here. So yeah, so I mean, I had to reset our thing. So
okay. I was like, are you okay? Because I heard you talking.
I was watching you, and like I was talking. I think I was super delayed. So so I actually have dipped into some college basketball. I watch in one of our rooms. So we have a treadmill, and nice. So I've got a TV in there, and so I watch a lot when I'm on the mill. I am super pumped because I think I'm going to pick Baylor to win in my bracket.
Ooh,
I think I am
all the way through.
I think so. I'm not quite certain yet.
If you're correct with if you're correct with that, and then all your other picks, you could win $1 million at ESPNSA.com. Pick the perfect bracket, man.
How?
Basketball Mayhem is here. We're giving away $1 million to anyone that picks the perfect bracket in the ESPN San Antonio Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. Details and registration are at ESPNSA.com. Once the tournament is set, go sign up.
I'm very excited for March Madness in the sense that obviously we didn't have it last year. But I have become here in our neighborhood, I have become like the guy, right? Like, so we need, I've gotten several messages from the golfers around here. Hey, can you set up a March Madness thing? Right?
You're going to be the bracket guy? You're going to be Jimmy Brackets?
So I'm also the pool guy. Like I have some, I'm the guy. Like that's the role I feel now.
When people in the Valley say they know a guy, they know you.
I mean, it's not that way, but it's funny that we're talking about the Valley now when it comes to basketball, because again, the Phoenix Suns should be the team that decided to go on a hangover. I do think that Jack Thompson would approve of that, but I'll let him make his case next week. But I don't know, like I kind of feel like this is our chance to kind of reset in a sports sense, right? Like our whole life is so much more important than sports. But talking about sports for a second, like we have been off on a left foot since March of last year. And I'm super pumped because I feel like we now, think about this. Like because I'm the guy, I have a thing going here for the players next week. So next week, we're going to have the players and then we're going to go right until Selection Sunday. All the while Dak Prescott's going to be, arguing with the Cowboys, whatever, and that's going to feel normal. And so then, we're going to go straight into the tournament. We're going to have it on all the TVs. You know what? I can't wait to come back, Pledge. I can't wait for the tweets that are like,
where's True TV?
Yes, that's the tweet I can't wait for. I can't wait for people to complain like they don't know where it is.
You know what I miss? You know what I'm going to miss? And I'm still not going to get to achieve it. I'm going to miss doing 8 hours of radio and a Twin Peaks with you.
Yeah, that was always fun and interesting. But it's just my heart feels full. I can't wait for the Valero Texas Open. Again, going to be different, but it just we're getting back, and so we're going to go from March Madness into the draft while free agency is going on, and then all of a sudden it's the NBA playoffs, and I don't know, I feel I almost feel like the NBA playoffs didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because
Lakers championship didn't count.
Right. Football was happening. So it was such an abnormal time. I remember when all of the things got rescheduled, we were all saying man, this is going to be awesome because we're going to get to watch NBA playoffs at the same time we're watching Sunday Night Football, the day after Bama, LSU, and the Masters is going to be going on. And it was cool, but it was also overwhelming. You know what I mean? And so I only focusing on one thing. And so I'm really excited for that to be the case. Who do you to get to the bracket? Who do you have winning it all? Wow, I guess you just want to shrink my screen. Way to go.
That is not what I wanted to do. That's what I was looking to do.
But who do you have at present moment winning it all? Are you a Gonzaga believer?
I'm not I'm a believer that they're really good and will make a run to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, possibly Final 4. I do believe they're that good. Baylor is also really, really good this year. But this year, the teams are so even. Michigan's a really good team.
They might be the best team in the country.
They might be the best team in the country the way they've been playing.
Actually, let me rephrase this. Who do you want to see win? What would make you the happiest?
Outside of Texas.
Well, I have an update for you of sorts. So something Pledge has been really the only person in my life to care about is the status of my career on 2K. And so
I'm here for you, man.
So I ended up getting last year's edition for free. It was for free on the PS4 store. And then I got an offer in November that was if you have last year's game, you can get this year's for 60% off. So
nice.
I got this year's 2K. It was super sick. So basically I got the last two 2Ks for $20.
So your career continues.
So I like the career mode in 2K. You always have to start over on the new one, but where you get to play some version of high school and you go to a select team or whatever, and then you go to college and you play in the Final Four. I always want to be on Michigan's team if I can choose, because there's a sense of
I grew up when the Fab Four was.
That's what I'm saying. There's a sense of nostalgia to me from Michigan basketball succeeding, and so I want the Wolverines to win. That's my
Those long baggy gold M shorts may be one of the best things in all of sports.
Yeah, we're over here talking about Phoenix Sun shorts, but maybe okay. Actually, let's forget the Suns thing. All right, as cool as that would be. All right, the Boston Celtics remain the team of the Saturday morning hangover, but I think that the Michigan Wolverines are our new team of the Saturday morning hangover.
For
I'm
college
sorry,
hoops? There's no new team. We don't have a team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but new, like joining the ranks. That's what I mean by new.
Okay. I'm about it. I've got it. I've got a Jimmy King jersey.
You can get the gold shirts. I like the navy. You know what I mean? Like, so we've got a nice kind of balance there. Kind of like you got the white Celtic shorts. I got the green one. So it all kind of worked out. But just to tie a bow on my 2K thing, Michigan was not available on this current game. I know it sucked. So I had to go, and I actually chose this team because of the Final Four that San Antonio last hosted. Villanova was an option. So I thought, you know what? We saw them win it, saw them win the Natty.
Have you gone to Duke yet in any of your 2Ks?
No, it's never an option. But
how's
I wouldn't.
Duke not in the Final Four?
I wouldn't do it. But
you wouldn't go to Duke?
No, I would rather go to. I had offers on this game from Villanova, from UCLA, from Gonzaga, from Michigan State. I gave Michigan State some consideration, but I couldn't cheat on the Wolverines. Like, that was the thing. You know what I mean? And so I went Villanova, but I ended up getting drafted by the Bulls. So that's my current state. Just to give you a heads up. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
That's a classic jersey. I like it.
That was the point.
Nice
I gave
history.
I gave some serious consideration to Miami, as we've always talked about, but I just couldn't do it. So I went Chicago.
The fun thing about this year's tournament is going to be that legitimately anything can happen. We've got what we thought Duke and North Carolina out of the tournament. They could be a playing game. They could play each other in a playing game at this point because they've both gotten hot. Imagine being like somebody that's worked really hard to get like a 3 or a 5 seed or something like that. And like, yeah, we finally got a good route kind of through the tournament bracket, and you land Duke on the other side of that, or North Carolina on the other side of that. And you're just like, are you kidding me?
I am, I'm in no way sad about this. Yeah, like, and that's a weird thing because like we just talked about like wanting nostalgic teams and nostalgic moments, but like I'm kind of cool with this.
No, don't be sad about it. I'm just saying it's a tournament where you can just kind of throw everything up and wad it out because I don't think there's a true favorite this year. There are some really good teams, and there are a lot of really good teams, but I think anybody can beat anybody almost on a given week because we've seen when Texas gets hot and they're knocking down their threes, they can play with anyone in the country.
Keep telling yourself that, Pledge. Keep telling yourself that.
I will. I mean, the only team I don't have faith in for March Madness is the Aggies.
I mean, that's fine.
I mean, they didn't play for a month, but I mean, Texas Tech, Mac McClung has been playing his ass off. Kyler Edwards and McCullough are both starting to regain that form they had early in the year. They hit a bit of a dip there in the middle of the season, but both of their play has come back of late, and they get a big game tomorrow against number 3 Baylor before the start of the conference tournaments to close out the regular season. By the way, you can catch that game right here on ESPN San Antonio. Pre-game starts at 2, tip-off starts at 3. But, I mean, there's no true favorite in my mind. I think there's a handful of teams that you would consider favorites this year, but I don't think there's that blown away, RJ Barrett and Zion Williams Duke squad, or there's none of those teams this year.
My last question on this, because you didn't answer. I ended up talking about 2K, which everybody cares about. Texas aside, my answer is Michigan. Who do you want to see win?
I'd like to see Mark Few at Gonzaga get one finally. That would be nice.
Lame.
I mean, it's nostalgic, man.
Lame.
Why do you hate Gonzaga? Why do you hate nice things?
I don't hate Gonzaga, but it's not like I don't consider it nostalgic. It would be like it would be like, oh, the Minnesota Vikings should win the Super Bowl because it's nostalgic. It's not nostalgic. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Well, it would be a nice feel-good story. Mark Few has been close a lot, never gotten there. For him to finally cut down the nets at a Final Four, for a dude that has had multiple opportunities to bolt for a bigger program, to be able to say, nah, I'm cool. I like Gonzaga. I like my guys here and continue to build that program the way he has. I think it's cool.
Okay. You're wrong, but that's fine.
All right. Juwan Howard is going to win his go to his second Final Four this year.
That's right.
Wait. Third Final Four this year. They went
right.
to 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
No, it'll be his first Final Four because those others 2 didn't happen, remember?
That's true. They've been erased from memory.
Because the NBA. Yeah, and Reggie Bush didn't win a Heisman either. Remember that.
Right.
He is RJ Ochoa. I am James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. When we come back, the draft is coming up, and the Cowboys are picking relatively high. I hear lots of options for offensive linemen. I hear lots of options for defense. I hear lots of options for quarterback. Which way should the Cowboys be looking when they get to the draft this year? We'll talk about with RJ next. He is the editor of Blogging the Boys. You can follow him on Twitter at RJ Ochoa or follow at Blogging the Boys for all your latest and greatest Dallas Cowboy content. We're talking the Dallas Cowboys in the draft coming up next right here on the Saturday Morning Hangover, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Tune in every Sunday morning from 11 to 1 for the Sunday Sports Grill. Hosted by last year's and this year's Rock the Mic champs, Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. Every Sunday, 11 to 1. The Sunday Sports Grill. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. Every Sunday, 11 to 1. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, the best things in life are free. Water tests. Let's go to Candace.
Hey Culligan, how do I learn more about my water?
Candace, let me just test the waters here.
Okay.
Literally test your water.
Oh.
For free.
Free?
Free, Candace. In-home water tests for free. So you know more about your water and how to make it better with Culligan water. And Candace.
Yeah?
We're already on the way.
Oh, good.
Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business and powered by Intel Core processors. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more. All with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Again, that's 877-ASK-DELL.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back into the Saturday Morning Hangover right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. The draft is coming up a little more than a month away from draft day. The Dallas Cowboys holding the 10th pick in the NFL draft, and Todd McShay and Matt Miller and Mel Kiper and all the draft pundits, Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, they all seem to have the Cowboys going in a certain direction. Usually it's a corner from either Alabama or Virginia Tech. Caleb Farley and Patrick Surtain II. In case you were wondering which corners, if you've been living under a rock, Jason Minnick subscribes to the fact that it doesn't matter. You need depth on the offensive line. You take the best tackle available there, whether it's Rashawn Slater or Penny Sewell falls to you. You take them, and even though he won't be an immediate starter, you've got to get your tackles of the future while you're picking this high. I hear others saying that Micah Parsons, if he falls to you, he's a prospect that's too good to pass up. And then there are those that are like, if you don't have Dak signed to a long-term deal, you got to at least look at quarterback if one of them falls to you. RJ Ochoa, which way do you lean? Because I think while it's not wasting a pick taking a tackle that high, it is definitely not a pick about the here and now. It is a pick about the future.
I mean, this is a lame cop-out, but you take the best player. It's possible that Rashawn Slater is the best player on the board when you're drafting. It's possible that you're picking at 10 and the first 9 picks have all been on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, it's possible you have your pick of every defensive player. I mean, generally, and a lot of this depends on what they do in free agency, but they are the Cowboys, so they won't do anything. I think generally you in this draft probably want to go corner. I mean, I pick one. Fine. Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley, whatever. I'm fine with either one. I'm a little bit less fine with one of the tackles, but there's no question the Cowboys have to shore up their tackle depth. Here's the thing.
Is it the all-world tackle that everybody's bragging about that you're less fine with?
I mean, I'm fine with either one. I mean, honestly, but you need impact now, especially if Dak Prescott is going to be playing on the franchise tag. Like, you are all in. Like, this is it. Like, because you're going to have to reset next year, and so you are all in. And if you're getting no immediate contribution from your first round pick, you're really not helping your overall win now cause. So, I mean, that's why I think you want corner help. But it would be awesome if the Cowboys went out in free agency, signed. Call it whoever you want. Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, Bashaud Breeland, Desmond Trufant, whatever. Signed any one of these corners, brought back one of Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, drafted Caleb Farley and Patrick Surtain. All of a sudden, that weakness that cornerback was is now a modified weakness, is now somewhat stable and strong.
What if they were able to trade one of their not first-round picks for a player to the talent of, I don't know, let's say a Stephon Gilmore who has recently been placed on the trade block?
It sounds like you've been reading bloggingtheboys.com because I wrote about this recently. Stephon Gilmore you've been reading bloggingtheboys.com, so big deal. Stephon Gilmore is a year removed from winning Defensive Player of the Year. So no big deal, kind of awesome. Stephon Gilmore you could have had in 2012 when you drafted Morris Claiborne, shout out. Stephon Gilmore would be awesome. I mean, there's no question about it. And I mean, he has a $7 million cap hit this year,
which is
it's
very friendly.
It's the friendliest cap hit of any legit. You're not going to sign
any
one of those
down
dudes.
Corner.
Well, even if you sign Bashaud Breeland or Desmond Trufant, you're going to be paying for the same sort of thing. And what's more is Stephon Gilmore is on the final year of his contract. So the Cowboys love deals like this because Stephon Gilmore, you get an awesome year out of him. He leaves next year. He gets paid by somebody else. That contract and his play, yields you a 2023 compensatory pick. I mean, they did that move with Robert Quinn 2 years ago. They tried to pull that off with Michael Bennett. Didn't exactly work out. I mean, it makes sense to kind of go down that well and go down that path. For what it's worth, I mentioned the Panthers and Texans playing each other if the 17th game happens. The Cowboys' 17th game would be against the Patriots, so I don't know if that's a factor to any degree. But, I mean, I would also, I guarantee you the Cowboys will not want to trade Michael Gallup. Probably because he's a great receiver, but because they view him as a compensatory pick in the making himself because he's in the final year of his contract. But, I mean, you would not be doing your job if you weren't considering trading Michael Gallup this offseason because he is in the final year of his deal. He presents the same lure for any other team. And if you can turn what you already have as an overwhelming strength into a strength somewhere else, you really should do that. I mean, I hope the Cowboys – I don't want to see them trade Michael Gallup. That's not my point. But, I mean, that's an easy thing to cash in for help on the other side of the ball.
It's a really easy chip to cash in for help on the other side of the ball. But do you worry about his ability to fit into what the scheme may possibly turn into with Dan Quinn as the new defensive coordinator?
I don't think you rely on Dan Quinn's scheme. I think you find great players and you find ways to coach them. That's how good NFL teams operate. And I mean, if the Cowboys are reliant on Dan Quinn's scheme, then I mean, they're more screwed than we have been saying for the last 2 hours. And so that might be the case, but you need help. And like, if they don't go get legitimate help for Dan Quinn, we're going to be sitting here in January saying, man, Dan Quinn wasn't that much of an improvement from Mike Nolan. Yeah, no crap, because you brought back the players that were part of one of the worst defenses in the NFL, like NFL history, that is, and didn't really do much to help them. And so, I mean, like they hold all the power. Like they have a lot of problems that can be fixed by throwing money at them, and whether or not they're going to remains to be seen.
Now, you could say that by taking one of those offensive tackles, it could make parting ways with the Tyron Smith that much easier, which would free up cap space, which would then allow you to maybe more easily come to whether it's a long-term agreement with Dak Prescott or not. Do you buy into the fact that if Swell or Slater are both sitting there at 10 staring you in the face, one or the other, that it could be Tyron Smith's last snap as a Dallas Cowboy?
No, I think at that point you're committed to Tyron Smith. I mean, because you're past the new league year and everything at the point of the draft, but it's very possible that this is Tyron's last season. I mean, and if you believe that's the case, then it certainly makes sense to place higher consideration on Slater or Sewell. But I mean, I hate to be like win now, focus on now, whatever, but like they're in some ways they're setting that situation up with the Dak Prescott situation.
Yeah. I know they went extremely outside of Tyler Biadasz, who has been coined Tyler Badass by the Blitz. If you look at last year, they went very heavily on the defensive side of the ball with most of their picks outside of CeeDee Lamb in the first. Do you see a similar philosophy this coming season with as bad as the defense played, in which they are heavy to one side of the ball?
No, because they don't believe in that. I mean, they don't believe in spending money at defensive tackle. They don't believe in spending money at safety. They don't believe in spending elite money anywhere that isn't in their own building, except for when it comes to Dak Prescott, because that makes sense. I mean, they just don't believe in that. They believe in, we like our guys. We have the right coach. We have the right scheme. You know, we're going to be fine. We'll just go get depth. And that's what they believe. And, you know, it hasn't worked. And for whatever reason, they think it's going to, because it's always going to next year.
Because I could make an argument that Richie Grant, if they're in the second round, is the perfect center field type safety for a Dan Quinn defense that we saw in Seattle.
Sure, but I mean, we made that argument for Juan Thornhill 2 years ago, and Taylor Rapp,
who is also a great center field.
No, I know, but they fell in love with Tristan Hill and went down that route. And Tristan Hill was progressing last year and might progress next year as well, or this coming season. But I mean, that, like, we have been fooled once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times over on that, you know, whole situation. Yeah, there's a lot of options that would be great for them, but they just don't believe in spending resources there.
And it's funny because despite the lack of spending resources there, that problem has remained a constant mainstay of this organization since Roy Williams roamed the backfield back there?
I mean, Roy was fine, but I mean, just a brief moment in time.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
was that the last time they had a capable safety? Ken Hamlin, maybe?
Well, he played with Roy. I mean, you know, so, I mean, the two of them together were okay. After that, it's been tough cookies. I mean, it really has. I mean, Byron was an okay safety, but
it's an elite
not
corner.
what they – I mean, but even then, they wanted to play him at safety. You know what I mean? Like, the last true bona fide baller – never have to worry about was Darren Woodson, to answer your question.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was the last bona fide like baller, but I'm saying outside of those two, when I say Roy Williams and Ken Hamlin, like the next best safety they've had over that time was either Byron Jones or Jeff Heath.
Shout out to a friend of the Saturday Morning Hangover, the GOAT, Jeff Heath, of course.
But am I correct in that observation?
Yeah, that's the standard. I mean, like it really is. Like,
but they've also been very bad, especially defensively and especially on the back end with all of these issues. Like, it's an easy corollary to make, to be like, we haven't been investing anything in this position. The last time we were good at this position, the defenses were pretty good. Maybe we should start to look to it, maybe not invest, but at least put some higher draft capital, or, we don't have to spend the $16 million that it takes to bring a safety in, but maybe just try and cycle them in through the draft to where we get good, competent safety play.
The most expensive commodity they're willing to spend at that position is 6th-round picks. Xavier Woods, Donovan Wilson, and it's gonna work out. We're gonna be fine. We're totally gonna work it out. They very infamously were in the Bahamas when Tyrann Mathieu was a free agent, and they said that he didn't fit their scheme. And I would argue that Tyrann has fit some schemes ever since then and been and done just fine. They refuse. They refuse because and that's the thing. To go back to Dak, that's what upsets me the most when everybody's like, we can't sign Dak because we need all this salary cap space. Yeah, they need all that salary cap space to not
pay anyone.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's stupid. I mean, but it's something that people believe, and whatever.
He is RJ Ochoa. I am James Pledger. This is the Saturday Morning Hangover on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. You can follow us on Twitter. He is at RJ Ochoa. I am at I Am Pledger. When we come back, it's time to put a bow on this show and finish our stroll down memory lane as we continue here on the Saturday Morning Hangover.
Your silver and black game nights start here.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. Game Night's The Blitz shifts its focus to your silver and black.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
An in-depth look at the night's game. 30 minutes before every game night on The Blitz.
1250
ESPN San Antonio.
94.5 FM.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
2 chocolate chip muffins coming in. Thank you.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Hey, can someone get that?
Like at Claire's Cafe. To satisfy demand for takeout, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV? I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas. Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with the free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price? You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CAR for a 50-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code CAR. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CAR. That's C-A-R. Visit getupside.com for terms.
If you like pina coladas,
RJ, I hope you love pina coladas. As you've said before, yoga's hard, but if you put us together, we might have half a brain.
Maybe.
I hope you never place a personal ad in the paper that is then responded to by your wife.
I won't. So, yeah.
So this
How
is
you
it.
been? This is it.
So
this is why we lift all them weights.
A very important revelation has come to light. RJ has found a piece of equipment that shocked and befuddled me.
I found my old PSP,
which still works apparently.
Yeah, I don't know how to do any of this. So if anybody does and you want to tweet at me, that would be awesome. I want to put an emulator on it or whatever they're called so I can play Super Mario on my PSP. That's the goal.
At RJ Ochoa on Twitter, if you know how to put an emulator on his PSP so that he can play games like Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that. I'm telling you, I got one of those little Nintendos. I play Super Mario 3 a whole lot. It's kind of awesome.
I know. I follow you on Instagram, so I see that.
It's kind of the greatest thing. I love it.
Are we doing predictions? Is that a thing anymore? Like,
they aren't, but we can. What do we want to predict?
Why?
Dak Prescott will be tagged.
No, hang on. In true Saturday morning hangover fashion, we got to do like an 8-thing parlay.
Okay.
Team LeBron wins the All-Star game. Dak Prescott is not tagged.
Oh.
Is tagged. Sorry, it's tagged. My bad. I finish WandaVision. Pledge gets Chick-fil-A on his way home right now for lunch.
Nice.
And everybody has the best weekend ever.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dak gets tagged.
Okay.
The Team LeBron wins.
So exactly what I've said.
Hold on. I'm adding to it. Giannis
who wins
Giannis
MVP?
Is the MVP.
Oh, I will say Steph is MVP.
All right. James Harden goes for like 30 and 10. 30, 10, and he has a triple-double. He has a 30-point triple-double in the All-Star game, but doesn't win MVP. Okay. And we will do this again at some point. Bye, guys.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Alamo Cycleplex. I'll tell you what, one thing this year has taught me is the value of being outside, the great outdoors with my family. And if you're looking to enjoy the great outdoors with the new Power Sport toy, I want you to head over to Alamo Cycleplex. If you want to head out to the lake, if you're looking for a new cycle, if you're looking to put your locks in the breezes, head over to Alamo